You can't manage time. Like anything that you manage means that you can move or adjust. Time's 24 hours. But what you can is manage your energy. And I think that AI is going to be an energy management tool, not a time management tool, but an energy management tool. It is going to do things that you don't like doing, allowing you to have more energy to work on the things you like doing, come home all fired up, and that's where all the creativity comes from.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Building Business Podcast. My name is Sancia. I work here at JobNimbus. Today's conversation is an exciting one. It's something that I am super passionate about, and I have a really amazing guest here to talk about it with me today. And that is thinking through scaling your business with intention. We're going to definitely get a little bit practical, but we definitely have some different ways, no matter what stage of your business that you're at, that we can talk about scaling with intention. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to our guest. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because you have a lot going on, and I want you to tell the story for us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm Robert Whittaker. I'm known here at JobNimbus as Magnolia Fence and Patio, but what got me probably in this room is because I also own Purple Coaching and Consulting, and I'm extremely passionate about,
on the shirt.
There we go. Yeah, I'm extremely passionate about scaling businesses when the right opportunity arises, scaling just your mindset and everything like that. And I've been journeying with JobNimbus for so long. I was just trying to think of like the punchline, and I'm as obsessed about JobNimbus and making contractors heroes as y'all are. And so we're a team, and we win and lose together, and excited just to have a great conversation with you.
Yes, I'm so excited too. And we got to hear each other. Well, I got to hear you speak at a poolside session at our JobNimbus Solution Summit in Cabo, which, if you haven't heard about it, it's not just for customers, but largely customers come. And it was a little windy this year. It was like a little bit cold and windy, but I got to hear him speak, and it won't be an exact repetition of that because what you said there was very specific to that, but it just really inspired me in terms of that growing how you think through it, and not just from a revenue standpoint. I think you made a really good point earlier when we were chatting that we talk about scaling businesses. A lot of it has to do with revenue, and not that that's not important, but that there's so many other pieces to it. So can we just break it down a little bit to start and think through, you said fencing and patios. You're a smaller portion of our customer base right now, but not non-existent for JobNimbus. And we're trying to serve that industry more as well, but also from the roofing space. What do you see in terms of people talking about scaling, and what are the asks that people have when they're help me scale my business?
Hold that question real quick,
Okay,
because we got to go back to, I think most of us were grateful it was windy because...
the summit? Yeah.
Yeah, because we all wish we would have probably worked out an extra day or two. And I want to bring this exact conversation into the next couple minutes with you is you can't go to a gym for 24 hours and expect results. I mean, you've got to compound results. So you go to gym an hour a day for 24 days, you see results. And so, just like as we prepared for it, we couldn't fake our fitness. And there's just certain things in business, patience will go beyond hard work and grit. And patience is where you tend to reflect on everything. And so, anyways, you were talking about the windy, I was like, whew, dodge the fact that I skipped a few workouts. and I think we do that in our business a lot too, is we skip a few workouts. And we all want to scale. Yeah. But what are we scaling? And so like we were talking about outside, I think it's important that we scale revenue. That's critical. We got to have money to make money. Yeah. But maybe we need to scale our mindset, or scale our significance, or our just impact on our team. And so right now at Magnolia Fence, we've scratched all goals for Q3, and we're just going to scale our leadership levels.
Is that different from previous years?
Yeah.
Is this new?
Yeah, I was reflecting, and I think a lot of what we've been doing is a lot of efficiencies, which are tasks, and effectiveness is gonna be our vision, right? And so if we scale our leadership team, that will be a lot more effective, and then they can work on the efficiencies.
What size, how many people are on your team? Just
So
to kind of put your business into perspective.
So we're responsible every day for maybe 60 people. We
Okay.
have a lot of subcontractors that work for us pretty regularly. We have a lot of W-2 team members as well. But on the leadership team, we have 6 or 7, depending on like what specific that we're talking about. So.
And when you talk about like this shift from, in my mind, I was thinking, well, you said efficiency, but I was thinking like tactically, like process. Is that what you're meaning? Like just like getting things like tightened up in your business process?
Yeah.
But shifting to this instead?
Yeah. So
okay.
I think too many times we've been tightening up the bolt on the wrong thing, and that's what efficiency is doing something right. But if it's wrong, you're just speeding up the wrong and getting further away from what you intended to do. And so effectiveness is focusing on the right things. Efficiency is just doing it right. And so we're going to just go back to the basics, make sure that we're all aligned.
Where are you starting? What's the starting point?
Going back to the basics. Any football team that loses a game, coach said we're going back to the basics.
Yes.
So we're going back to the effectiveness, make sure that we're all aligned there, and then we're going to let our who's determine the hows. And that's where we're at right now. And so right now we're not scaling our revenue, we're scaling our leadership levels. So very different perspective, and it's a hard pitch because revenue's sexy and attractive and fun to talk about at the dinner table, and nobody wants to hear about level 3 leadership until they're the one on the other side of you. And that's what we're focusing on, is what is it like to be on the other side of you?
And I want to just say this out loud now. We need to have a follow-up episode to this once you've done that. Because I'm really, really curious to see, like, obviously going into Q3, you have these plans and leadership scaling but even just like what on the other side, what does that look like? And what is that impact? Yeah. Because inevitably it will have impact on all of the other things. Like that's the hope, right?
And that's, I think why people struggle to scale is they get super stuck because they're not willing to meet new people or get new perspectives. And the only way we're going to learn something is through new perspectives. And I think problems introduce you to new people. So, I mean, like we should embrace problems.
Yes.
And embrace new opportunities. And so, a quick hack, if for those who are embarrassed to ask some human, hey, what is it like to be on the other side of me? Just ask ChatGPT, say, hey, what is it like to be on the other side of me? And it will tell you. Has
it told you?
Yeah, it will.
Are you comfortable sharing?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I lobby for my opinion, and I tend to speak over other ideas. And so, I mean, I'm aware of that. And so what I've been trying to practice is my favorite first word now is a breath.
A breath.
Just a breath. And if I can just take a breath,
yes,
that's all that I typically need to not talk over somebody. But that's what it's like to be on the other side of me.
Interesting. I would like to do this. Okay, this is your call to action to do that right now. Even just have this on in the background and go ask ChatGPT that. I'm going to go do that. It's probably quite humbling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And if you can't get it to prompt you right, just say roast me, and it'll pretty much tell you the exact same thing, just in a little harsher way. But
yes. I have a team here at JobNimbus, and we were talking the other day because we were doing an interview process, and a girl on my team, she's phenomenal, and her question was to this person, hey, if I were to be on your team, what are the current people on your team, what are their biggest frustrations with you? And I loved it. And then it got me thinking, what are the biggest frustrations that she probably has with me? And so yeah, chat could probably tell me, but it is those things of like, I context dump, like without clarity sometimes, or I'll tell her one thing and forget and tell someone else, and then they come to me and they say, we need to get aligned. Like
exactly what you described, where you're comfortable receiving feedback. It's equally as important to make sure that people are comfortable giving it and creating that environment. And so talking about scaling, I mean, almost anybody can grow revenue, but who are you running over? And so like as we get through this conversation, I think it's really important on what do you need to scale next. And I have this talk about campsites, and like we all know that there's some revenue campsites, like you get to 1 million, 3 million, so on and so forth. I think there's leadership campsites or conversation campsites where we just need to sit down and practice because the conversations get deeper the higher you go. And you don't journey with everyone, so you can trust the conversation because there's less people with you. And so I don't know where you want to take the scaling, but we have a lot to talk about in a short period of time.
We do. So I think one thing we like to do, so we have kind of like, the philosophical piece and also the very practical piece. I would say though, even with the leadership, that is to me very practical. I would agree. Even here at JobNimbus, we revisit every quarter. We follow the Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Of course.
We've kind of scaled it as the company has grown. We have outgrown I think it's the 200 person cap. And honestly, it gives us structure. It's helpful. It gives us, the year goals, the quarterly goals, the sub-rocks, the things like that. But additionally, there are pieces where I know that my VP here, our VP of marketing, has said, hey, we would like to get all of our team executive coaching and be like, we want to know each other better. We want to know our non-negotiables and our innate drivers and things like that. And that's important. And it's been very cool as a team to, even though we haven't actually seen the results yet, kind of have these conversations where we better understand each other. And it has definitely fueled a sense of unity. I think we have bonded over it, in addition to kind of comboing it with this, like, we are growing JobNimbus too. So you're looking at me like, yes, you're like, here,
I
go
just
ahead.
love it because like I'm hearing all these people say nobody wants to work anymore. They just don't want to maybe work for you. Right. Because the standard or bar is set substantially higher. There are people that are investing in their people. And that's like the thing going back to AI that's really interesting. AI will never be able to consume. And so you're going to have to figure out how to work with people. And they're complicated. And so like learning conversation techniques that allow for openness and conflict. And you were talking about just like learning each other's communication techniques. Like that's so interesting because let me make sure I get this right. We could be talking about the same exact thing and be on two totally different planets.
Yes.
And then we'll end up dividing, which is what we've witnessed for the last 20 plus years in at least the government. And so we need to teach people that just because we disagree, we just discuss and decide and move forward, whether it's a consensus or not, it's that you've been heard. And so that's what people want right now. They just want to be heard. They want to feel like there's a connection. And so while AI is great, they'll never be able to consume. So we have to figure this people game out, and we're being forced to now.
And I think too, there's the scaling the business internally, the team, the growth of the team, perhaps even revenue. But I think additionally, this feeds out into the customer experience, like being able to have that empathy, that connection with the homeowner, with the customer. Obviously at JobNimbus, we're a B2B company, but we serve B2C companies. So I'm really excited actually to hear about how this leadership piece in your business helps scale your leadership intentionally so that it kind of has these spokes of impacting other parts and in turn will ripple out into your customer's experience.
So I've got to, for all the listeners, I've got to touch on this. While JobNimbus serves us, we equally need to serve you. And so we need to be good stewards to how well we communicate with you. We are partners with you. We're not against one another. When things break, we problem solve. If you worry about connecting with me, but I don't ever take time to connect with you, we will still get far apart from each other. And so we both have to extend trust. And so, I mean, for all the listeners, like some of my board of directors are people like JobNimbus or my banker or my insurance provider. Like I value them equally as much, and I can't serve my customer if we're not working out. And I heard this the other day, your customer won't have any better of an experience than your employee. So if your employees don't have good experiences at work, and for that matter, your vendors have a good experience with one another, your customer's not either. And so if you're getting feedback from your team that they're unhappy, more than likely your clients are unhappy too, whether they post it on Facebook or Google or whatever else. And so scaling internally is a lot slower, but it's a lot more predictable and concrete.
And sustainable, I think too, because if that groundwork is built, then everything else is building off of it and it's steadier and Yeah, I think I wholeheartedly agree. I think there's a lot of, I'm going to start a business. There's money to be made in the contractor space. And it's quick, and there's storms, and there's quick money to be made, and it can be honestly in some cases a pretty good quick money grab.
Yeah.
But I love what you're saying about this foundation, and then from this you can scale, and you can sustain it. It doesn't just crumble at like the first set of trouble.
So I bet the viewers want to know, like, brass tacks, like how much money does this guy have in and out? So let's just get there. So we've pretty much scaled $1 million every single year for a number of years, and we've been stuck between the $7 and $8 million mark.
Okay.
Now we protect our margins, so every year we're stuck. We, for the most part, maintain a pretty good 15 to 20% gross margin, depending on the year and stuff like that. So like, that's great. And so for the guy on the other end of it, I'm like, why do I need to get any bigger? And so we stopped scaling altogether. We stopped growing. And I ran into John Maxwell the other day, or in August, and he said, Robert, do you remember when you wanted to make your first $1 million? And I was like, man, everybody knows that. He goes, do you remember when you wanted to give away your first $1 million? And that knocked me off my feet. And that gave me like purpose to scale again revenue, because I've been scaling other things, scaling my mindset or whatever else. But I said, now it's time to turn on the afterburners, and I can inspire people to go to the next level, because it's going to suck for a while. I mean, you find people's characters out through adversity. And so we're going to face adversity, and we're going to figure out, like, we're going to have to make some tough decisions, I imagine. And we're going to have to embrace others. And so, so we're going to go from 8 million to 15 so we can give away the $1 million. That's our goal. So right now, since we can't give away $1 million, we're going to give away $1 million of blessings, whether it be a handshake, a hug. We're finding a lot of people don't need money. They need time. They need connection. But
Is this in a time frame that you're hoping to do?
So
this,
next
or
3 years.
In the next
3 years. Yeah. So
giving you $1 million.
$1 million in a year.
In a year. My gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you how we've already achieved that in a second. But so this year, like he told me in August, so you can't just go to 15 overnight. So this year we're building our leadership team, because they've got to have the calluses and the endurance. And I say, hey, we need to pack our bag. We need to stack some cash, because that's what you do at campsites. You pad up your bank account, because it's expensive to grow. It's expensive to make mistakes. And so, so actually we've given away way over $1 million already.
I need to give you a hug.
Yeah, but not through me telling my story. So my significance, I believe, on this earth is to tell that same story, and other people are listening, and we've inspired others. So collectively, I bet you a group of the friends I run with, maybe a couple $1 million is what we've given away this year alone. And so I think what John Maxwell was saying is, how many people have you influenced to give away $1 million? Yes. And that's the huge difference between an abundance versus a scarcity mindset. And I've met some people that are at the top of this mountain of success, and they have nobody to share it with. And so, like, think about any moment where you have like good news. You can't wait to share it.
Yes.
And if you go to the top by yourself and you don't have anyone to share with,
lonely.
you're just,
Yeah.
And so, so scaling always has to be with scaling with people. And so for these people who are starting their businesses, and I get it, that they're automating everything, and super grateful to have JobNimbus automate the 80%
Just a plug
nobody
for
wants to.
automations.
Yeah, we don't want to do the 80% that y'all do for us, but like, how do you practice working with people if you have fully automated businesses? And so we just have the 20% that everyone's unique abilities are that make 80% of the impact. And so people go home happier, or at least that's the goal. There are going to be days that we obviously would much rather go off-roading or whatever else. I said that because we're in Utah.
Yeah.
We don't really go off-roading in Texas. It's
I'm in
110
Canada,
degrees.
so it's a little different.
Yeah. So while I understand that money definitely is the fun thing, and you say, well, with money comes people and everything else, but it also comes problems. And the higher up you go in leadership, the bigger the problems are, which is like, they only bring you the good problems. And so you just embrace those and really like realize that they're not problems, they're just things that are difficult until they become familiar. That's interesting, right? So
I think one of the things that we've been talking about, so I'm on the marketing team, so we talk about all kinds of things with AI and how we can use AI for different things and getting rid of the busy work, or using a tool like JobNimbus in your business, or whatever it might be in your tech stack. but that human connection, I think in this world that is becoming increasingly automated, where AI is getting rid of a lot of that busy work, that I think we're going to crave. I think it was Mark Cuban actually referred to it as human connection is going to become a luxury good. That like actually one-on-one FaceTime, we are going to see this increase in in-person events, connecting
100%.
over food, gathering together. And I think this is why this is important, even to me, to sit here and talking to you, and just like working in office together when we can. So even you talking about that, connecting with your team, having that piece, connecting with your customers, face-to-face. Yes, we can send in for e-signing. Yes, great. Sometimes that's nice. And that is the valuable thing to get your time back. But there is a relational piece, and that contributes to that scaling and sustainably scaling.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about AI and everything. I think, and Jeff Woods nails it, an AI-driven leader, I think it's actually going to drive us back to what I think life was intended, which was connections. And so I've been on this huge, and this is probably a practical piece right here. You can't manage time. Like anything that you manage means that you can move or adjust. Time's 24 hours. But what you can is manage your energy. And I think that AI is going to be an energy management tool, not a time management tool, but an energy management tool. It's going to do things that you don't like doing, allowing you to have more energy to work on the things you like doing, come home all fired up, and that's where all the creativity comes from. And so I think people are going to see 10x growth in their businesses, both revenue and just like in attitude and everything like that, because things like AI, but not just AI, I just think people are more aware that they like connecting, so they'll start embracing it again. Because we can definitely get peopled out with the, hey, you got a minute emails or the...
Want to sync up? I'm booking in a 50-minute sync. I'll ping you later.
Yeah, I'll circle back and you're like, oh my gosh. So, but I think people are going to look forward to it. And I just heard today somebody said, I don't have time to meet with them. I said, then you don't have time to grow. Yeah. If you don't have time for your people, then you definitely don't have time to grow. Because when you grow, you add people. And maybe not even actually in your business, but you got to have time for this. You got to have time for your banker. You got to have time. You've got to embrace that. And so that's...
I could talk about this forever.
Well, perfect. Perfect. We can cut out all the fat and we can just keep going.
Just keep going. No, I'm really grateful for you coming and joining us and talking about this, because I think exactly like what we mentioned, scaling is very revenue focused. A lot of what we hear in the industry is like, come to this event and learn how to increase your revenue by this or hit your first million, which again, worth celebrating. But again, to have people with to celebrate that when you hit it is a beautiful thing. And I think we share that passion for that in this industry. Okay, for any viewers and listeners, where can they find you? Because I know this was a very, like, there's untapped knowledge that is accessible.
so let me give them a couple pieces of just real practical advice and encouragement. So statistics say that out of 28 million small businesses, only 4 to 6%, depending on what chart you read, get to $1 million. So like that's a first milestone. And I would recommend to most people who have a cost of goods of some level, like first million, like you just got to sell. You just got to answer the phone. You got a pound payment. Like the stuff we're talking about is the next level. So when is that? Like typically around the 3 to 5 million, where you really need people in leadership positions, but you have to start practicing it now so you're ready for it when it arrives. So for those who haven't made it to $1 million, answer the phone, pound payment, make some deals, get practice, get repetitions. For those who don't have a leadership team, here's the second piece of practical advice. Go join something like the Chamber of Commerce so you can learn how to work with other like-minded leaders. Go get A-type personalities around you that aren't scared to tell you how they feel like it is to be on the other side of you. And so join a chamber, and then you can maybe grow your business too, but go become an ambassador and go learn what it looks like to respect other people's calendars. Because as owners, we typically, our calendar is more important than your calendar until you realize that they're doing quality work too. So I definitely recommend that you practice this leadership before you need it. And then the second piece, and this is like even clearer and more common sense, is the 21st century, the illiterate is somebody who's not going to be able to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We have to have mental agility. We have to be willing to be flexible, and what you need is going to be different than what somebody else needs, and we have to be okay with that, embrace it. And how you get that mental agility is you read what you need. There's so many books nowadays that have what you need. And so if you go to purplecoaching.com, we have a bookshelf, and every quarter I flip the books, and I have 5 books that I've vetted that I personally think, not only in the economy, but like in the industry or whatever else like we're facing right now.
Yep.
And so I flip them every 5, or I have 5 books, I flip them every quarter. And so purplecoaching.com, that's how they can find me. They can see me all over Facebook. I just want to make a connection with somebody, because I truly believe what we're doing here lasts a lot longer than the dollar you're going to make today. And so that's how you can find me.
What is one of the books you have on your shelf this quarter?
So we're doing a mastermind on developing the leader within you 2.0. So that's been awesome to go back to the basics. So if you've never read that book, that will hit you straight in between the eyes. Speed of Trust, written by Stephen Covey. He lives here in Salt Lake. He's a friend of mine. And so all things can be done with trust, right? So think about this. You and I trust each other. You knew I was going to be here, so everything happened faster. So that's an incredible one. And then Chris Voss and I were hanging out, Never Split the Difference. So he's a hostage negotiator, and the thought is that he had to be able to get all the hostages out, not split the difference, which in the contractor world, that's a common phrase. And so just have the mindset that we're not going to leave half the hostages in the building. But what he specifically said, and not in the book, but in conversation, he said, make sure when you're done negotiating, they want to negotiate with you again. I think too many times we're trying to win a negotiation instead of it being a negotiation we both look forward to doing again. And so those are the 3 books that I would recommend right now.
Cool. So take note of those for sure. Thank you so much. At JobNimbus, we love to see companies grow in revenue, obviously, what you can do with that, and again, what you're able to give when you have that and you are profitable and you have bigger margins, and the impact that you can have in the world. That's something that we're passionate about, and we have a couple things in our back pocket that we're going to be launching as well in relation to that, growing these communities in your communities. But this was really fun. I have lots to think about. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, comment, share it wherever, and we look forward to having you back on another one soon.